Hi everyone, it's Lauren and today I have a quick book haul video for you. I mean, I say quick, I actually thought I didn't have that many books to show you, and then when I piled them all up, I realised I actually have more than I thought. So I don't know when this starts to become a problem that I need to talk to someone about, but I apparently have acquired more books than I realised. So I'll start with the most recent books I bought. Last weekend I was up in Edinburgh staying with Jen and Lena, and we went to the Edinburgh bookshop to meet some people up there, and we were recommending some of our favourite Man Booker long listed books and other books that we like to recommend to people in general. So the bookshop made sure that they had copies of the books that we love the most in so that we could sell our wares, as it were, and I ended up picking up some books as well. So the first one that I got is The Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, which unsurprisingly was a recommendation from Jean. I've been wanting to read a bit more fantasy recently, but I didn't really know where to start. It's a bit difficult when you're starting a new genre because you don't know which writers are going to end up being your favourites, and you just kind of dip your toes in without getting too bogged down with a massive series. I tried reading The Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin, and I did enjoy it, but I don't think I'm going to continue with the series. It was okay, but I didn't love it enough to read that many books, and I just wanted to watch the TV show instead. So this comes with the highest praise from Jean. I know that Mercedes at Mercy's Bookers Musings reads Robin Hobb as well. I've seen that on her channel, so I think this is hopefully be a good place to start. And the next book I got was a recommendation from Lena, which is Trumpet by Jackie Kay. This is about a jazz trumpeter who dies, and on his death it kind of all comes out that he's actually biologically a woman who's been living as a man, and his wife has been covering that up. There's not very much information about this on the blurb because it sounds very, very interesting, but it comes with Lena's recommendation, so I think this will be a really interesting one to read, and I've not read any Jackie Kay before either. And then the last book I bought in Edinburgh was actually one that I picked for myself, which is Men Explain Things to Me and Other Essays. Now this is where the term, I believe, mansplaining comes from, and I've seen this in a couple of different bookshops recently, and it's been shouting to me with its beautiful, beautiful cover, and I'm just looking forward to reading it. She's a writer that I haven't read before, and I'm trying to expand my reading of feminist texts, so I'll add this to my little pile. And then a few weeks ago I also went shopping in my lunch break at work, and I got a couple of books from Waterstones, and the first one of those being The Book of Strange New Things by Michel Faber. I would love to say that I just saw this and thought, hey, I should read it, but really I think this was planted in the back of my brain, probably by Jen Campbell, who has been pushing this on everyone all year. It's about a man who journeys through outer space, I believe on some kind of religious missionary mission, and he leaves his wife back home on Earth, and it's about their relationship and also his experience on this new planet. And Jen just has so many good things to say about this book that I just felt the need to buy it. Also, oh gosh, look at this cover, it's just so gorgeous. The next book I got was Viper Wine by Hermione, Eyre, which it's been on my list for a really long time. I would say I think this won a prize, but it doesn't say anything on the book, so I don't know why it was on my list of books I need to read that I keep on my phone, but I've had it for ages, so maybe I read about it in a newspaper or something. I don't know. But this is one I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and then a month or two ago I think I saw this on Max's channel at Well Done Books, and he'd read it and really enjoyed it, so that kind of brought it back up to my consciousness or something I should read, and then I saw this in the bookshop and just thought, yeah, I'll get it. It's about a woman in the 17th century whose husband gives her Viper Wine, which is an elixir to keep her young, which is based on a real story, it says on the back, but then it also calls him a time traveller, and I think there's obviously some kind of magical realism or fantasy or sci-fi or something a little bit not historical novelty about this. And on the front she's got a little iPhone in her hand, so one that I'm really intrigued by, and does come recommended from Max. And then finally I bought a little book which is Ali Smith's Girl Meets Boy, which is part of the Canongate Myths series, which is where modern authors take myths and rewrite them in their own way. This is Ali Smith's version of Ovid's Metamorphosis, and a lot of people have been reading these recently. I've not read any of the Canongate Myths, and I love Ali Smith so much, and I haven't read any of her recently since How to Be Both, which I read at the beginning of the year, and it sounds like it plays with the idea of gender, which she does in a lot of her books. It sounds very interesting, and I'm just looking forward to reading her writing again. I think sometimes you get those authors where when you read one of those books again, it's just like, oh, I don't know, slipping into an old comfy pair of slippers or something. Oh god, that was naff, wasn't it? But I just love reading her writing, and whenever I read another thing written by her, be it short stories or a novel or a play, I'm always just reminded by how much I love her. And finally, I have a couple of books that were sent to me by publishers, and the first one of these is a collection of short stories by Lucia Berlin, which is called A Manual for Cleaning Women. And on the back it calls her one of America's best kept secrets. She was writing a lot of stories between the 60s and 70s and 80s, but isn't apparently as well renowned as her writing deserves, and this is 43 of her collected writings all put together. This is an ARC, but it was published on the 10th of September, so you can probably get this now. I don't know if it is a different cover, but it sounds really interesting, and some of the stories seem quite long and some of them seem quite short, and I just like short story collections anyway. They're a good introduction to an author that you've not read before. And the next one is Wilful, Disregard by Lena Andersson, who is a Swedish writer, and this has just been translated. This sounds really cool. I hope I'm just not being sucked in by the beautiful cover, because it's absolutely gorgeous, the way it's been printed. It's got blue on the back. It does sound really interesting, and again, another author I've not heard of before. It says, Esther Nilsson is a sensible person in a sensible relationship. She knows what she thinks and she acts according to her principles until the day that she is asked to give a lecture on a renowned artist, Hugo Rask. The man himself sits in the audience, spellbound, and when the two meet afterwards, he has the same effect on her. From now on, Esther's existence is intrinsically linked to that day, and the events that follow change her life forever. So it does sound interesting. It says a novel about love. I'm interested to see what this one's about. And finally, a book which looks so cool, and I'm really excited to reading this, is All This Has Nothing to Do With Me by Monica Sabolo, who is a French writer. This is about a journalist who hires someone for her magazine and about their relationship and how it develops. But the way it is written is so cool and so interesting. It's like Facebook posts and letters and texts, and then some belongings that they have together, and pictures of things, and it just sounds like a really interesting way to tell a story, and really, really different. It's photos of them together, and I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a really different experience in reading this, and again, an author that is new to me, so I'm really excited to get to this one too. So thanks for watching. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to read any of these, because at the moment I'm in kind of man booker zone, getting those long shortlisted books read, but I am looking forward to getting to these. I'd be really interested to hear if any of you guys have read any of them, so do leave me comments down below if you have, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! No rape and no murder. I know, you're not going to be shortlisted. You start with this.